Procurement. As I mentioned in the beginning, we don't actually structure these products ourselves. We actually buy them from different providers, and we are an open architecture house, meaning we also use third-party providers. I'll be getting to that in a second on this slide. There's one obvious benefit of having an open architecture, and that is you have access to best-in-class products, because we cannot assume that we are going to be the best at everything. This is simply not realistic. So this gives us a possibility to look for other interesting product opportunities in the market that might be suitable and interesting to our clients. On the other hand, we buy third-party risk, which can have several different consequences for us, because ultimately we are staking our name, our reputation by selling a third-party product, which is why we have this very extensive due diligence process in place to ensure that we do not risk our reputation. As we do not structure it ourselves, how exactly are we going to make sure we get a fair pricing for a complex OTC structured product? For some more vanilla products, if they are additive in nature, meaning I can take a bond and a call option, I can price the different components individually, and there is benchmarks in the market I can use for my valuation. As soon as it becomes more complex, non-additive structures, using some form of Monte Carlo simulation, for instance, etc., it becomes increasingly difficult to value these options. What are the different approaches I can use? And ultimately we have implemented the so-called sealed bid first price auction, also known as a beauty contest in the market. What we ultimately do is we provide pretty much all the parameters various counterparties that are in question for this particular trade, and we ask them to solve for one particular variable. And this variable is going to be one of the factors we take into consideration when we decide which counterparty to trade with. So it's not only a question of absolute figures, but also we have to consider, of course, what is, for instance, the rating or CDS spread of this issuer at the current time. Is there some other things we need to consider, such as issues in the past regarding liquidity or the documentation? Is there going to be a lot of work for us as a product management department to adjust the documentation for it to be client ready? What's interesting about this is the sealed bid means that the counterparties do not know who else we are asking. And first price means that the first price they show is the first price we're actually going to want to trade on. There is not going to be a possibility to come back with a second adjusted price. By doing so, we're actually putting pressure to provide the most competitive price the issuer is willing to show at this current time for this particular structure. And that gives us a possibility to distinguish between the different offers we have seen. What's very important from a game theoretical perspective, maybe a bit more academic, is that the issuers themselves, they have a lot of knowledge, a lot of market intelligence, the IT infrastructure to gain access to what is actually the fair price of this product, which we do not. We do not have this information, which creates an imbalance. And by using this beauty contest, we create a counterbalance, because now suddenly we have information on the buy side that the sell side does not. They do not know who are we asking, and they do not know what levels are these other participants showing us. So this is a very powerful tool. Next, repeated games create incentives for cooperation. Obviously, we want to continue doing business with these counterparts, so we have to make sure that we inform them, for instance, after the fact, what were the levels we have seen from other counterparts, because this could enable the counterpart that didn't get the trade to go back to his trading desk and say, I'm sorry, you're not competitive, take a look at your model, you're off market, everyone else showed 2 percentage points better, and it's not our funding component. So this gives also the buy side an incentive to cooperate with the sell side for obvious reasons. And very important, allow for first mover advantage. If there is some innovation from an issuer, we're not going to do a beauty contest, for the simple reason, if we took a new product idea and started showing it to other counterparties, the result would be that none of these counterparties would ever show us new products again, because they know we would take it and go to someone else. So it ties into the repeated games and incentive for cooperation. So if there really is a true product innovation, then we will forfeit the beauty contest. We say some new value has been added in the market, and this new value justifies a premium taken by the issuer.